last game. Time here before tip-off, I'll king basketball. Kenny, talk
back. And if you have an anchor in open lanes, because you know if they try to get hands up and making
Welcome, everyone, to this 2K Sports broadcast from suburban Detroit Thursday evening as we get set for some exciting NBA alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. We take a look at the Warriors. Well, they're entering a bit of a soft spot in their schedule, facing off guys against some of the lower-ranked teams in the league, and we'll see if they're able to take advantage and have their win total.
You know what? They're almost perfect in their approach right now. I mean, mentally, physically, strategically, everything seems to have fallen.
And this sort of awesome dunk is one of the reasons this team is in charge of this game right now.
Clark, there is a swagger out here on the court that they possess and are not afraid to show it either.
That's right.
I tell you what, I used to love to go up and jam like that.
And that was Kia bringing you the close.
They don't D him up more tightly.
Superstar player, but one of the best contracts in basketball this year and next for under $24 million combined, and you can bet he's due for a major increase in pay when 2017 rolls around.
Jackson's gone a perfect 2 of 2 from the arc. Curry with it. Guarded now by Jackson, and he gets it to go. Curry's got 5 points so far.
And it looks like he might just be on his A game today, Clark.
Here's Caldwell Pope, guarded by Curry. Caldwell Pope dishes to Ilyasova. Lets it go from the wing. It's hauled in by Bogut.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
That's good.
And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need one. The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be, because he is so strong in the paint.
Ahead bucket, no good.
When he's wide open like that, he'll rarely miss those.
From deep, Ilyasova, and that one's good. Ilyasova's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
What are you going to do defensively? Such separation with the height advantage in that matchup.
Curry attacking. Hangs in the air. Can't hit from in close. Pistons have gotten 4 of 6 field goal attempts to drop in the first quarter. And Caldwell Pope gets the basket.
They worked hard and created great chances for themselves in this opening quarter.
And if they match that effort at the defensive end, watch out.
Here's Curry. Banked in off the glass. Curry's got 7 points. And in this first quarter, about 3 minutes played.
And Detroit with a 32-50 record last season. They didn't have any help from the schedule. They had a total of 22 back-to-back series on the year, tied for most in the league.
And that one's good. Drummond.
Oh, the turnaround jumper. That was just beautiful.
Curry against Jackson. And they go to the intentional foul.
Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. You know, maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
Yeah, but that's no excuse for that kind of foul. I mean, that might be an explanation for it, but certainly doesn't justify it. And even then, it's just not a good play.
Anthony Tolliver. He's checked in for Detroit. Greg, you just said the Pistons had a ton of back-to-back games. 44 were part of their back-to-backs, over half their schedule. Clark, they went 15 and 29 in those games.
And that's part of the reason why the NBA wanted to examine the schedule. I mean, it was a tough year for the Pistons. It's hard to get any momentum when you're playing that many back-to-backs.
Pistons leading by 4. And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Well, Steve Kerr had a few moments to share with me. One thing he knows is key for them is making sure they play within themselves on the offensive end. He felt that was a deciding oiled machine in their half-court sets. We'll see soon enough if that was the difference maker.
Good report, Doris. Well said. Thanks. An interesting thing to address before the game.
Yeah, and clearly the coach has been hammering home the point to his guys that good shot selection is absolutely key.
And I don't think you can ever overemphasize that point. I mean, intelligent basketball is about being selective with your shots. And I think that's what will win the game for him.
Caldwell Pope looks good, is good. Bucket number 4 from the field. He's taken only 6 shots.
Clearly, they've been the hotter team here in the first half.
Well, they've been grit and grind, working for those high percentage shots, and quite honestly, it's paid off for them.
And the Warriors decide to take their first time out here.
They can't guard us on the perimeter. Spread the floor and ice them.
And what a heck of a performance for them, particularly offensively. I mean, there were stretches of that game where everything seemed to be falling.
Ball movement was superb, majestic, and they got good shots and they made them. So it wasn't a surprise, but the ball movement was the key.
Here's what Detroit's going with right now. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Andre Drummond. Johnson comes in for Marcus Morris. And it's Jennings in for Reggie Jackson.
They are really doing a nice job establishing a presence inside early.
And watch, Clark, how the game plays out, because this is going to open things up on the perimeter. And Draymond Green, guys, has won at every level. I mean, led Saginaw High School to 2 consecutive state championships at Michigan State, 2 trips to the Final Four, and now making noise with the Warriors. It's clear this guy's a winner.
Outside Jennings. Pulls it up. And Detroit again with the bucket.
And how about the grasp they had on the game plan for this one?
You know, I know it's early, but I don't think I'm going out on a limb when I say we could be headed for a blowout unless something dramatically changes and fast.
It's almost as if both teams are in a zone.
Well, offensively at least, partner. I mean, neither team's done jack diddly on D.
It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Feeds to Johnson. Clock at 6. Tolliver kicks to Caldwell Pope. Pass to Baines. Trying to find Jennings. He's got it now. And that one's good.
And the offense has come together immediately. I mean, they're threatening to run away with this thing already.
Greg, it's hard to imagine they'll stay this hot for 4 quarters. But if they even approximate that, watch out.
Domination in the first quarter. It's been pretty lopsided. The Pistons on top. They're up by 10. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from the Palace of Auburn Hills. Steph Curry, a player within the gym range. He told us about his comfort stretching the floor.
Anywhere 5-6 feet outside that three-point line, if I have a dribble or if I catch and shoot, if I have a good look, I think Coach will allow me to take that shot. And it's tough to guard, especially when you see a couple go in. That basket gets a lot bigger.
I was going to say, Greg, how big must that hoop look to Steph Curry? And tough to guard might be the understatement of the day.
I mean, he is just an insanely great shooter. I mean, arguably, I don't think there's an argument. He's the best shooter in the world. The argument is whether or not he's the best shooter ever. And listen, I can imagine there's very few times that Coach Curry is not going to allow this splash brother to let her rip.
And we welcome you back. Glad to have you with us as more basketball is on the way. During the break, the players getting refueled with Gatorade. They're looking amped up and ready to get going once again. Now let's take a moment to get your guys' take on the scoring so far for Detroit.
Well, I'll tell you what, they must have had a good shoot-around because they've been fantastic from long range so far, fellas.
And also knocking down the mid-range because they're making good decisions with the basketball.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor. All fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. On the floor for Detroit, Jennings runs the point with Jackson flanking him. Marcus Morris is out there with Ilyasova. And it's Drummond in at the 5, roaming the paint. A nice bounce back here for Harrison Barnes, Clark, in year 3. Moved into the starting lineup last year and really responded.
Yeah, he did. I think he benefited from the new system. He was miscast as an isolation scorer, but when he can spot up for threes and catch the ball on the move, that's his game.
Thompson, he's checked in for Brandon Rush. Back to Morris. Shot's good. Jennings making the play. Morris has got his first 2 points of the night.
You know, that's been a big part of their offense in the early stages. I mean, their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range right at the rim.
And Clark, they might as well keep doing it. I mean, attack the basket until the defense makes an adjustment.
Warriors trail by 14.
I tell you what, Harrison Barnes, very athletic. He certainly passes the eye test. And with his size, he can punish smaller wings and create mismatches. And then also he can play some small ball power forward at times as well with the way they like to space the floor.
It's Iguodala with the drive. Back to Curry. Puts up a three. That's good. Curry's got 10 points.
That feed by Iguodala, a really good example of his passing ability.
And you talk about Harrison Barnes overall. He had a nice uptick in his rebounding last year, and that was a goal of his. He wanted to get his activity level up. And oftentimes the difference between being good and great is just making those small incremental improvements in different facets of your game.
Deep two from Jennings. Drops one in from the wing. Jennings has got 5 points now in the quarter. Warriors trail by 13. Jennings with the steal. Now Detroit moving it up. Had the opportunity on the break, but couldn't sink the three. Here's Curry. Here's Thompson. And a great assist by Curry as that one goes in. Jennings against Curry. Launches it. And Brandon Jennings with the three. Jennings has got the lead up to 14 now for the Pistons. The Warriors have gone 2 of 4 shooting the ball here in the second. Curry kicks to Thompson. Fast break Detroit. Here's Morris. Finished off the break. Morris has got his second bucket.
And it doesn't really matter who starts the break with how he runs the floor. He seems to always be the one who finishes it.
Yeah, he is so fun to watch and how he attacks the rim at full speed like that, man. It's something to behold the way that guy gets to the rim. That's something they need to do more of. Get after it on the glass. Go get those balls.
Clark, it wouldn't hurt. Some extra possessions would definitely help narrow the gap and maybe swing the momentum.
Here's Curry, the dish to Bogut. And here's Barnes for three, and he gets the bucket.
You know what, guys? He can really light it up from the perimeter at times.
Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Curry against Jennings. And he uses the glass on the layup. Jennings has got 16.
They're in the position they're in right now, thanks in no small part to the show that he's putting on in this period.
Here's Curry. Here's Bogut. And down it goes, jamming that one home.
And if that doesn't get them fired up, guys, nothing will.
Right, just what the doctor ordered, huh? Some high-flying antics to narrow the deficit.
Tell you what, fellas, that could give them the energy boost they've been looking for.
Jennings against Curry. Inside, Iguodala with the steal. We've got 1:48 left to play here in the half. And that one's good, Barnes.
There is no way a player like him can be left wide open like that. Did you pay attention to the scouting report?
And Iguodala knows just how deadly his teammates can be from outside, and he looks for them to get their shot before getting his own. I think this situation for him in Golden State's perfect for his skill set.
Warriors trail by 14. Curry kicks to Barnes. Pass to Iguodala. He feeds it to Thompson. Bogut with a screen on Jackson. 5 to shoot. And here's Barnes for three. No good. And the Pistons now going the other way. They're coming off that win against Philadelphia.
You know, sometimes you're going to win because of your performance, and on occasion, which was the case for them, it's the play of your opponent that allows you to escape with wins.
Well, you're right. I mean, there were a lot of turnovers in that game, some caused by their good defensive play, but some were just carelessness.
Rebound Andre Drummond. Drummond's got 5 rebounds tonight.
It's a +5 advantage for them in the rebounding category after that board.
Very steady with their work overall.
And a different look here for the Pistons. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Drummond. Tolliver comes in for Ilyasova. Johnson, he's checked in for Morris. And it's Caldwell Pope in for Brandon Jennings.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
That's exactly the way to do it, too, Kevin. Go hard to the bucket and don't let them set up the defense.
The Pistons, another fast break chance right here.
Make it 2 hands for safety. That's what they say, right, Kevin?
Yeah, that's right. You got it. And he was ultra safe with that dunk.
No reason not to be.
And guys, as he should be. Remove all doubt on that attack.
And again, no good by Golden State.
Really tough for this group right now, trying anything to stop the run.
And no matter what they've tried, it hasn't worked. I think they've just got to slow it down.
And through the first half of
the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome, everyone. We'll be taking a look back at what was clearly a Brandon Jennings playing terrific basketball in this one. He ended up with 19 points, 2 assists. And that'll do it for now, as the second half of our game is a
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback.
What a performance from Jennings here. He's got 19 points, and he's drained 3 3-point bombs so far.
Don't stop. Don't hesitate. Keep firing from out there when the shot's falling like this.
So for the Golden State Warriors right now, the defensive stalwarts, Green and Bogut, are down low. Thompson is the 2 with Barnes at the 3, and it's Curry in at the point. That's good. Basket number 5 on a 5-for-8 night shooting.
Well, for one, he hasn't let them down. But a few other guys need to pick up the pace if they're going to be good.
Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession.
Yeah, a moment to check out Marcus Morris here. How his last 10 games have gone. Getting around 12 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. And guys, he's making winning plays. It's as simple as that. Not a star player per se, but he makes his presence felt.
And fellas, I would say he's been overachieving a little bit lately. Hopefully this is a sign of greater things for the future.
Here's Jackson, poked loose. Curry with it. Guarded now by Jackson. Kicks to Thompson. Shoots the 3. Detroit with the rebound. Drummond's got 6 rebounds now in the game.
And guys, one thing that we were treated with last year is Steve Kerr's great quotability in post-game interviews and pressers. He said all the right things and deflected praise like a coach who had done it for many years.
And Kerr is so good with the media because, Greg, he was a media member himself for so long. You know that as well as anybody. Clark, I don't think he ever tried his hand at broadcasting, though. I can't see him doing that, could you?
Yeah,
I know.
Right. He probably just drone on as a broadcaster and would rarely contribute anything of note. Some guys have what it takes to call games, and Steve just doesn't quite scratch me as that kind of guy.
No.
And guys, how about Ilyasova last season shooting the basketball? Always a decent threat to score. His improvements in efficiency were amazing. He increased his field goal accuracy from 41 to 47% in only 1 year.
Timeout called the Warriors. And we were talking about Ilyasova. There's a reason his field goal percentage went up last season. It wasn't necessarily better shooting. It was probably better shot selection.
And I think the scheme played to his strengths. Lots of ball movement, penetration, kicking out to open spot-up shooters. Ersan showed us that's his kind of game.
And when you look at Draymond Green, he's not a guy who will wow you with his numbers or his athleticism, Clark. He brings a lot of intangibles, though. And I remember talking early in his career with Tom Izzo up at Michigan State saying those exact things that he gives you so much more than just what you see.
And his current coach and our former partner, Steve Kerr, raves about him. He's the heart and soul of the Warriors, in Steve's words.
Both free throws good from Green.
You know, you talk about Green's enthusiasm for the game. He's constantly talking, whether defensively or even in an opponent's ear. He's a vocal presence. And also another example of how a guy can make an impact without necessarily having it show up in the stat sheet.
Pistons leading by 16. Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Steve Kerr was going over with his team. He made sure that everyone was on the same page and that the offense needed to run through Stephen Curry. Coach stressed the importance of getting the ball in his hands as soon as possible at the start of their possessions. No question he's going to be the key guy for them offensively. Coach was not wasting any time in altering their strategy here in the second half. And Kevin, he's going to have to hope those changes take effect quickly.
All right, Doris, thanks. Pulls up on the wing. Thompson with the bucket. Thompson's got 11.
And also, don't discount his leadership. Draymond Green's been a vocal leader his entire career. Even as a rookie, he wasn't afraid to challenge his teammates. And that competitive spirit, guys, can be contagious.
Outside Jackson. They set the pick. Good on the three-point shot. Jackson's got 5 points in the quarter.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Curry kicks to Green. The three-pointer off the mark.
You've got to give them a lot of credit for the job they've done on the backboard.
They've done a lot of things well today, but really it's about what they've done on the backboard that's at the top of that list.
Thompson with the bucket.
And the shooting has really been there for him today, but he may have to take it upon himself to continue to carry this team and try and get out of this hole.
Warriors trail by 17. Outside Curry. And here we go. The Pistons fast break. Good on the shot. Caldwell Pope's got 13.
I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen throughout. Just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively.
If they hope to get back in this game, I mean, it's really deflating from a morale standpoint. They need stops and points, not turnovers.
Jackson gets the bucket.
Well, I tell you what, when you get this kind of effort and efficiency from him, they're a really hard team to beat.
Curry passes to Green, and he caught that pass in full stride on his way to the big slam.
I'm not sure how I like this one. He used the rim to get some true hang time there.
Now, he just wanted to make sure the landing was softer than the tip.
Okay,
that was just
I'll buy that for now.
A good old-fashioned chin check right there.
And a different look here for the Pistons. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Andre Drummond. Tolliver comes in for Ilyasova. Johnson, he's checked in for Marcus Morris. And it's Jennings in for Reggie Jackson. Different look here for the Warriors. Mazzili's checked in for Bogut. Rush comes in for Harrison Barnes. Andre Iguodala is checked in for Thompson. And it's Barbosa in for Steph Curry. No problems knocking that one down. That's 12 points for Draymond Green.
A little bit of a defensive breakdown there. He's not the guy you want to leave open on the perimeter. You've got to stay attached to him.
And the officials call a traveling violation. And let's look now at which teams have been the hottest offensively for the past 10 games. The Warriors, number 1.
Well, this is only a trend over a few games out of a very, very long season. But the coach has got to be pleased that his team has been able to score big with some consistency.
Reggie Jackson's checked in for Brandon Jennings.
And he's been passive today, but maybe that's what he needs to get him going, because for them to be successful, he's got to be a little more selfish.
And for Andre Iguodala, last year was a first in 758 games. Up until then, he had not once ever come off the bench.